Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Dallas police say an officer committed suicide after fatally shooting someone during an attempted arrest.
A 15-year-old boy in Frisco hit and killed by a vehicle outside a middle school Wednesday morning.
And police in Austin investigating a reported explosion at a medical center parking garage.
Well, the forecast is still in cement, hasn't moved much, triple digits once again today, and we'll try and take a look at the weekend because we've got all kinds of advisories up for weather effects. We'll have that coming up in a moment.
Activists in Rankin County, Mississippi, calling for the resignation of the sheriff after 6 former officers pleaded guilty to beating 2 black men. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. I'm James Munoz.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
An officer in Dallas took his own life after he was involved in a shooting that left a suspect dead the day before. Officer Matthew Bacon was one of 4 officers who opened fire on a murder suspect Monday morning. Authorities say they were working with the U.S. Marshals as part of the North Texas Fugitive Task Force. The officers were serving an arrest warrant at an apartment complex. The police chief says this is a heartbreaking loss and encouraged officers to pause for Officer Bacon's family, but also to check in with themselves. Remember, help is always available. Dial 988 if you or a loved one is in a mental health crisis. This lifeline provides free and confidential support for people in distress. They're available 24/7.
The bodies of 3 people and a dog have been recovered from a well in Elgin cornfield. Authorities tell KXAN a man from Red Rock led 3 people from Florida on a hog hunt. The hunting guide said a dog escaped from a truck and fell into the well that had standing water in it about 6 to 8 feet below ground level. One man apparently jumped into the hole to save the dog, and another man and a woman dove in later. The well had a high amount of hydrogen sulfide gas built up inside, so it likely killed the dog and the 3 people. In Frisco, part of the DFW area, a 15-year-old boy on a bicycle was hit and killed by a vehicle outside of a middle school early Wednesday morning.
Though they have different connections to this tragedy, each person who brought flowers did so for a similar reason.
Because that's somebody's child.
Neighbors, former Heritage students, people grieving their own loss, all here to offer what they can to Landon Bork's family.
I went and got flowers and I got a card. I wrote them a little note. I hope it gives them peace of mind.
The 15-year-old football player was biking before sunrise Wednesday morning. Police say he was trying to cross Independence Parkway a half mile from his school when someone hit him.
No mother should wake up to that text. That's horrible. I mean, 15.
The driver tried to help, but Bork died. Some neighbors say the street lighting here is poor and too many people speed down Independence, though it's not yet clear if McKinney police will charge this driver with any crime. Heritage High School let out as normal, but those picking up students know this day was far from typical.
Excited for your teachers, new classmates and everything, but to expect it to go so horribly wrong is just insane and very unexpected as well.
In a statement, the school district says Bork was a beloved member of the campus community whose loss will be felt by Coyote family.
Victoria County Sheriff's deputies arrested 2 suspects on human trafficking charges this morning. 58-year-old Rene Aguirre Alanis and 59-year-old Araceli Aguirre were stopped for a traffic violation in the 10,000 block of U.S. Highway 77 South. The deputy says he noticed a woman in the 3rd row of the vehicle trying to hide. Aguirre Alanis and Aguirre told the deputy they would be paid $1,500 if they took the woman from Mission to Houston. These 2 are being held without bond.
Police are investigating a reported explosion at a medical center parking garage in Texas. Authorities received a call shortly after 5 p.m. that a car fire was inside the visitor parking garage at St. David's Medical Center in Austin. They arrived on scene and immediately observed that there was some sort of explosion that caused the fire. Austin's police's bomb squad was called in, as well as an Austin-Travis County EMS. Authorities say 1 person was detained, no one was reported hurt, and there was no damage to the hospital.
An investigation is underway after a 2-month-old baby boy was found unresponsive in a hot car Tuesday afternoon. The baby's grandmother told KTRK the baby's mother didn't know she left the 2-month-old in the back of the car. She says the mother thought she left the baby at home while she and her 4-year-old went to a clinic. Authorities saying the baby is 2 months old, not 3 months old, as originally reported. They're waiting for autopsy results. The National Weather Service issued excessive heat warnings for 2 area counties, DeWitt and Lavaca counties, under heat warnings until 9 o'clock tonight. The National Weather Service says temperatures up to 108 degrees are expected. Mac, when might we catch a break from this intense heat?
It's going to be quite some time, James. I mean, it really is going to be until mid-September when we look at finally getting less and less sunshine in the area. Right about now, it's 99 degrees out there. Feels like 113, and of course, that's at the airport here in Victoria County. Here is an interesting number. 101 was our high, and here's another interesting number. Our sunset is going to be at 8:12. When that sunset is about 7:30, we're going to be doing better, okay? We'll have more on your weather coming up in a moment.
Mac, thank you. The National Weather Service has issued a fire danger statement for DeWitt and Lavaca counties until 11 tonight. It is dry to critically dry in the 2 counties with near critical fire weather conditions expected. Austin Fire Department crews and other agencies battled a 3-alarm brush fire in East Austin Wednesday night. 2 vacant structures were burned. Around 9 p.m., the fire had burned 100 acres and was 95% contained.
Activists are calling for a Mississippi sheriff to resign, as well as the Justice Department to investigate his department.
This comes after 6 former Rankin County law enforcement officers pleaded guilty to beating and torturing 2 black men for more than an hour.
Sheriff Bailey, I know your voice was cracking last week, buddy, and you was sitting there and crying. He say he didn't know nothing about it, and I didn't know nothing about it. I'd be a fool to think that.
John Barnett, who's a spokesperson for Michael Corey Jenkins and Eddie Parker, is not holding back. He says he thinks there should be a new leader running the Rankin County Sheriff's Department.
Your leadership equals bad leadership. So we're asking that you step down.
It all stems from an incident that happened back in January. These 6 former Rankin County law enforcement officers admitting that they beat and tortured Jenkins and Parker for more than an hour. In fact, Hunter Elward admitted that he shot Jenkins in the mouth. Then afterwards, the men tried to cover up their crime.
This incident is showing us the pattern and the recipe that they've been using for years.
During the time of the incident, 5 of the men worked for the sheriff's department. They called themselves the Goon Squad. However, although they did work for the department, Bailey says the men lied to him about the incident and he had no idea this type of activity was happening.
The fact that you say this was just amazing, you've been knowing these men almost a lifetime, or you've been knowing them for several years, however you want to explain it, and you didn't know that they were capable of this, that in and of itself is a lie, because you have received several complaints about these individuals. They have been involved in other incidents.
The mere fact that you didn't know is the reason why we are demanding that immediately you be relieved of your duty.
This group of activists believe more deputies could potentially be a part of the Goon Squad. That's why they're calling on the Department of Justice to continue investigating Bailey and his department.
Just because we got 6 of the dumbest cops, deputies ever in the history of Mississippi, just because we got them fired, I'd be a fool to think it wasn't some more out there.
Okay.
I'd be a fool to think that.
It's a squad.
It's a squad. So we come to disassemble, dismantle, and terminate the Goon Squad.
The former officers pleaded guilty to federal charges last week. They also face state charges.
Victoria College started serving the region 98 years ago. Victoria College President Dr. Jennifer Kent says the goal today is still all about connecting the community with opportunity. Over 10,000 people in Victoria County do not have a high school education, but Victoria College is there with open arms, ready to give them a second chance. In the Crossroads region, 1 in 6 adults lack a high school diploma. Through VC's adult education program, it's easy to jump right back on track.
And so we all know they're our neighbors, they're our friends, they're our relatives. It's very important that we all reach out to those individuals who have doors closed to them to opportunity. Let them know that we have space at Victoria College in adult education. It's a completely free program. There's no cost to participate. It's all grant funded. We'll get them in here and we'll get them started. They'll get their GED just as soon as they can, and then they'll transition into a program that leads to a great wage.
President Kent says classes kick off Monday, August 21st, and there's still time to register with 1 week left. Students are encouraged to come to campus where they can meet with advisors one-on-one to discuss their career goals. And here is your viewer poll this afternoon. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, do you know someone attending UHV or VC? Your options are yes, no, I am a UHV graduate, I am a VC graduate, or I'm enrolled now. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6.
All right, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Just hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. The death toll in Maui at 36 as wildfires devastate the area.
Also ahead, 5 Americans who were wrongfully detained in Iran were released and now under house arrest. At least 36 people have died as wildfires continue to devastate Maui. Shelters are open to house hundreds of displaced families. Maui hospitals are overwhelmed with patients suffering from burns and breathing in smoke. Cell service is out for more than 11,000 customers. Maui leaders are asking visitors to leave, and airlines are increasing capacity to accommodate them. Separate from the blazes, brush fires are also causing evacuations on Hawaii's Big Island. Thursday, a U.S.-based lawyer said that Iran has transferred 5 Iranian Americans from prison to house arrest. The move comes after the capital of Iran has spent months suggesting a prisoner swap with Washington. Iranian leaders at the United Nations confirmed the agreement to the Associated Press. 3 of the prisoners were identified. However, the 4th and 5th prisoner were not identified.
6 men were arrested in connection with the assassination of Fernando Villavicencio. Ecuador's interior minister said they were all foreign nationals, a part of organized criminal groups. They were identified by their first names and an initial. During overnight raids, authorities found a rifle, a machine gun, 4 pistols, 3 grenades, 2 rifle magazines, 4 boxes of ammunition, 2 motorcycles, and a stolen vehicle possibly used by the men. 2 men charged with third-degree assault in connection with Saturday's riverfront brawl in Montgomery, Alabama. They've turned themselves in. 23-year-old Alan Todd and 25-year-old Zachary Shipman were in custody Wednesday night. A third man, 48-year-old Richard Roberts, also taken into custody. He's charged with 2 counts of third-degree assault. The fight between white men and a black riverboat co-captain stemmed from a dispute over a dockside parking spot. One witness said a racial slur was used. Police believe the brawl was not racially motivated. There's a new coronavirus variant in the U.S.
The CDC says EG5 is causing more new COVID-19 cases in the country than any other variant.
It's being called a variant of interest by the World Health Organization. EG5 is another Omicron offshoot and behind about 17% of new COVID-19 cases in the U.S.
So for now, it seems that it may have increased transmissibility, but it does not seem to be posing more of a threat to public health than other variants.
So far, EG5 has been detected in 51 countries, its global presence doubling over the last month, with China having the largest portion, about a third of reported cases, followed by the US, South Korea, Japan, Canada, Australia, Singapore, and the UK at 2%. EG5 was upgraded from a variant under monitoring because global health officials believe it should be tracked and further studied, says Dr. Audie Shaw with Mayo Clinic.
So that we can keep an eye on the data and make further determination as to if this is more risky or leading to more hospitalization.
Right now, the U.S. is seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases, emergency room visits, and hospitalizations, but it's unclear if this specific strain is driving those increases. Health experts believe the record heat driving people indoors and summer travel may be helping to drive the uptick. An updated COVID booster is expected by fall.
Because the booster is targeted against XBB, and which is the strain of the Omicron family that EG5 is related to or comes from. So potentially it should protect against EG5 as well.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Victoria County is taking out $9 million in debt to fund several projects, including the $1.1 million purchase of new voting machines from Election Software and Systems. You can read the story at crossroadstoday.com.
Experts are raising the odds for an above-average hurricane season. NOAA released its initial 2023 Atlantic hurricane season outlook in May. They predicted a 30% chance of above-normal activity. Now it's a 60% chance. The update calls for 14 to 21 named storms, up from the earlier prediction of between 12 and 17. They predict there will be 6 to 11 hurricanes, with 2 to 5 forecasts to become major hurricanes of Category 3 or higher. However, their forecast does not project how many storms would impact the U.S. And now here's Mac, who can tell you more about this.
You bet. What we're looking at, of course, is the warm nature of the Atlantic in record-breaking temperatures. So anything that gets going obviously should become a tropical storm. So far, it's been kind of quiet. So, well, we're now moving into the peak of the storm system. So we should be seeing some activity rolling around down there. Another triple-digit day, folks. Yep, 101 for us, 99 in Lavaca. We went up to 105 in Gonzales. We are setting all kinds of records. And the big concern we have now is that we head into the weekend, had a lot of fire danger. We'll be talking more about that in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Sure, yeah, sunshine, right? We used to look forward to summer when we could get out there and play, right? Can't do that anymore. It's just getting too hot. 101 for us, 99 down at the coast. Look at these temperatures up and down I-35. Everybody about 105 to 110 down in Laredo and even in Del Rio and even in San Angelo. So it's getting pretty ridiculous. High temperatures tomorrow are not going to change much. And you know, there's the old expression, the dog days of summer. Well, really, that's not until the last of August and a little bit into September, because it refers to Sirius, the dog star. Back in the days when you can see the clear skies, you know, they could see when a certain star come up on the southern horizon. They figured, well, the sun, in addition to that star, is making it warm. Well, but that's where they came from. But it's been the dog year of summer at the rate we're going. Not a lot of well, no, a lot of sunshine, but not any clouds around our area. This is like live. We're having satellite radar up and down, but there is just nothing happening over our area. And in fact, even in North Texas, they're looking at that blazing sunshine as well. Of course, the East Coast had all that activity earlier this week. For the time being, they've finally settled down. A few little monsoon showers out west, but the Dome of Doom has not changed. It is not going to be moving until mid-September, when we start getting less sunshine. We do have the advisories up for pretty much everybody. There's DeWitt, there's Victoria, there's Calhoun County, down to Aransas. So the heat advisories are one thing. The heat warnings, which is in the dark red, are of course the serious part. So we just want you to take it easy middle part of the day. I know you got to get out, go to the store, pharmacy, or whatever. Just know that we do have a lot of heat advisories up and down for the entire state. Now, here's another thing that factors in. We've been so dry for so long. We're now in a drought, and all the grasses have dried up, not only because of the season, but because of the lack of rain and the heat. So pretty much half the state, if not more than half the state, is under red flag warning. That's a high fire danger. Now, here we are in Victoria County, so it's not in our county yet, so we're okay. But the rest of the state, and if you have, you know, property, interests, family, all that stuff, they're in a high fire danger. Yesterday we had that fire that broke out in Cedar Park, which is north of Austin. Can you imagine if that had kept going? That's the problem. So that is our major concern for the entire state. We certainly don't want to see a wildfire take off at this time of the year. Well, there's the Dome of Doom. It's not really moving around much, and it is keeping all of our tropical stuff to the south. And I mentioned this yesterday. This is an easterly wave. Now, it's not going to go through this. It has to go around it. So right now, the Dome of Doom is keeping it so far south that our chances are pretty slim that we're actually going to get some of that tropical activity. But I put it in the forecast because I'm optimistic. So that will be spreading the moisture up in the coast, and hopefully we'll see a sprinkle or two. Otherwise, it's hot. Yeah, looking for a high of 96 in the Port Lavaca area. In Cuero, we're looking for a 103, and everybody's going to be in the low 100s all the way through the weekend. Give us a, you know, say a little prayer or something that we get a few little rain showers around here. But we got a whopping 20% beginning on Monday. That's your 7-day forecast. Just reminding everybody, we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today right on your phone. That is it from the weather front. We'll toss it back to James and Karina.
Mac, thank you. We do need some sprinkles, maybe some popcorn showers.
We need it all.
Yeah,
we need it
coming
all.
up next on 25 News Now at 5, we're going to take a look at Wall Street and business news. Grocery bills went up in July due to a spike in beef prices.
The Dow up 53 points, the S&P 500 gaining 1 point, and the Nasdaq adding 16 points. Oil down $1.58, closing at $82.82 a barrel. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that grocery bills rose 0.3% in July. That is due to beef prices going up 2.4%. Beef roast spiked 6.5%, while ground beef went up 1.5%. The reason for the price increases are due to drought conditions and feed being more expensive. That's what led to a 3% reduction in cattle inventory and a 5.3% raise in prices over the past 12 months.
Instacart is now accepting food stamps in all 50 states. Customers can buy groceries online. Instacart previously launched a pilot program in Alaska with Safeway stores. It has expanded to more than 10,000 stores. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food and Nutrition Service says more than 42 million people are enrolled in SNAP.
Stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, talks are set to resume again between the WGA and Hollywood studios after a week of silence. Plus, here's a look at World News Tonight right after 25 News Now.
Coming up, the catastrophic fires torching Maui. Hundreds of homes, buildings, and cultural landmarks destroyed. Busloads of people arriving at the already jam-packed airport. Our team on the ground in Maui next.
Set to resume between the Writers Guild of America and major Hollywood studios. The Writers Guild told its members it expects the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers to respond to its proposals. The writers were on strike for more than 100 days. They're seeking higher salaries, better residuals from streaming platforms, and protections against artificial intelligence. The two sides have not met since last Friday.
Imagine striking in the heat.
All right, so I can't imagine that at all. I mean, and it's a important thing, you know, with this AI thing, they're going to be making TV shows without humans. You know?
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. We're real human beings. We're not artificial intelligence, because I wouldn't qualify for that. It was just non-intelligence.
Nothing like the real thing.
That's right. All right, folks, the heat rolls on. It's still August. We're really at the peak of summer heat. Now that we go into late August and early September, we should be seeing a little bit less sunshine. I'm talking inches less. So that's why I keep saying this is going to be with us until mid-September. So 101 is a forecast high for tomorrow. Try and stay cool the best you can, all right?
Thank you, Mac, and thank you for being with us.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.